on local news, weather, traffic, and sports. Plus Fox News Worldwide. This is Fort Wayne's Morning News with Charlie Butcher.
Oil slick in the Gulf of Mexico continuing to grow. There's worst-case scenarios out there that would just make you shudder. What's all this going to do to us at our pump? Joining us on the newsline this morning is Kevin Kerr, President and Chief Trading Officer for Kerr Trading International. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we've gone over and over and over the environmental issues here, and I think everybody's pretty clear on those. But this may threaten offshore drilling plans also. That's going to affect the country and the economy.
Well, absolutely. You know, this could put a damper on any new drilling that we are looking to see. It's already difficult to get that going anyway. So this may put more regulatory things in place that could delay that. You know, we have to remember that this is one rig. Of course, it's a terrible, terrible disaster, but one rig out of hundreds that are in the Gulf that are drilling successfully and safely. So I think we have to keep in perspective. But there's no doubt that the damage from this is going to be significant all up and down the coast, and it's going to shut some of these ports possibly.
$500,000 piece of equipment. That would have solved the problem here. $500,000 piece of equipment. I don't know the dollars in the oil business, but that sounds like that might be reasonable.
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket for them. I have to believe that this wasn't a cutting corners thing. It probably, you know, just like an airplane, you know, there's many redundant systems on these rigs to protect against things like this, but it just reminds us how dangerous this business is, how expensive it can be to drill offshore. There are a lot of risk, and that's why there do need to be regulations. But we have to keep in mind that, you know, this is the kind of accident that can happen in any facility of any type.
What do we do? Where do we go? And what's going to happen, do you think, with the barrel of oil? Now, today I was looking up the quote, and I thought it'd be a lot higher. It is at $86, but it's up just under like 25 cents.
Yeah, I think that the news has been coming out. You know, it's obviously a terrible disaster, but it hasn't really affected on-hand supply at the moment. And that's really what traders look for. You know, how much supply is really being dented at this point. Now, that could change as this oil comes on shore, as it may delay deliveries to the ports. This is going to affect other commodities, too. This is even going to affect Indiana by affecting the corn crop and exports out of those ports. So we're already seeing some of that happening. So this could be widespread. It's not just in the Gulf. It's not just seafood. It's also grains. So and any other imports that go in and out of those ports, out of the Gulf. And
it would be diesel, too, which moves America. I mean, if our trucks aren't running, or it gets expensive to run trucks, then which is, if I remember right, what started us down this road into a recession to begin with.
Exactly. It's really bad news. I mean, it couldn't come at a worse time when we may just be about to get some drilling ramped up. To have this happen, it just underscores the problems and the dangers of this business. But you can bet that if BP is going to be, you know, having to spend all this money, you know, and in general, consumers are going to see this reflected at the pump at some point, unfortunately.
All right. Have you read the worst-case scenarios? How likely are those to happen, do you think?
Well, it's anybody's guess. We really won't know. You know, some of the ports in Louisiana, some of the bigger ports, I mean, if they were shut down, you're talking about $1 billion a day, you know, possibly interrupting commerce of what goes in and out of these ports. And it's not just energy, it's everything else. So the worst-case scenario is hard to even conceive of. You know, hopefully with all of the efforts that they're making, they can cap this well. That's really the big concern, that it's leaking so much oil. And this could just keep going on for weeks. So really, they need to get that well capped. That's number one, and then the cleanup can really begin in earnest. Until they cap that well, though, you know, who knows how bad it's going to get. That
is Kevin Kerr, President and Chief Trading Officer for Kerr Trading International and editor of Kevin Kerr's Commodity Confidential. You can find both at Kerr, with 2 R's, trade.com. Kevin, it's always great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is 8:13, News Talk 1190 WOWO.
60 days.